everybody, what's good? How are you? I am Nicole, founder and owner of Mahogany Healing, and hope y'all are doing well. I'm just here to tap in with you guys. I am back home after a long night of travel. There were several flight delays yesterday. I was supposed to, so just to start off, supposed to leave Florida at 5:05 p.m. So I got to the airport about 3. Security was ridiculous. The sign said it was going to take about 18 to 22 minutes, and it took like at least 45 minutes to get through TSA. And the lady behind me, she thought that her flight was boarding at, I guess, I don't know, whatever time, but she called her parents who were ahead of her, and they were like, no, the plane is boarded, we're waiting for you. So I was like, get in front of me. So she got in front of me, and she's like, that's not going to help, because there was still a whole host of line of people in front of me. She's like, thank you. She's like, but, so as she said that, I said, it's going to be all right. And then all of a sudden, we saw like more TSA people coming, and they opened up a new section. And they opened up the new section, and they started like 3 people in front of me. And so, the lady went with her child, and then there was another lady that went, and then it was me, and I told her to go, and I was like, you go, because like I had plenty of time, even though we were waiting forever. She started booking. She's like, I've always been like, I'm never going to be one of those people running through the airport. I'll be on time. And so I said, never say never. If anything this trip has taught me is never say never. My trip to New Smyrna. But anyways, so I was supposed to leave at 5:05. We get there, flight's delayed because storms that started in Orlando. And then when we were ready to take off, not take off, but after the next delay there were storms in DC that started. So of a delay of storms led from us going to flight leaving at 5:05. Delay after delay, we actually got in the air at 12:47 a.m. this morning. So when I say it was a long day, but even my experience at the airport, just sitting there and conversing with the people that I was next to, we were all just, we were just like, what's going on? It wasn't, we were like, oh, we're tired, we're ready to go, but it was like nobody was really angry at anybody or taking their anger out on the staff, because they didn't know, we can't control the storms. It's weather related. It's not something that they can control. And so our flight that we were taking into DC was actually in Tampa, and it couldn't leave Tampa because of the storms that we were having in Orlando. So one thing just led to another, and it was just a clusterfuck of delays. But even conversing with the people around me, like, it was so interesting how they all were, just polite and kind, and just not saying anything bad about the staff, but they were just, we were discussing just like, being more kind and empathetic in the world, and so I'm listening to them, and then the lady says to me, are you intuitive? And I was like, I started laughing. I said, yes, I am. She's like, because her dog's name was Mickey. He was the cutest little dog. This dog was phenomenal, okay? He had like a Gucci necklace and everything. The dog was phenomenal. He was just beautiful. But anyways, so she's like, my dog, he literally came and just sat by me. Like, he was a little poodle, so friendly. But she's like, and so then I started getting the energy of the dog and sharing that with her, right? And just telling her, like, he really appreciates, like, how much you do for him. And she was like, yeah, she's like, he's taught me. And I said, you're peaceful. And she said, he's taught me to be more peaceful. So I told her that. She was like, yeah, I'm very peaceful now. Like, he's brought me this level of calm. And her husband was sitting there, was like, yeah, like, she loves this dog, whatever. But, it's just, she's calmer now. She's more present in the energy. So I thought it was very interesting how when you are walking your purpose, it always shows up in multiple ways around you. So even in that situation, that just showed me more that I'm here doing what I'm supposed to do. But about my trip, it was phenomenal. I was just sharing with Byron how incredible my trip to New Smyrna was, and telling him how the experience was really transformative, and I just really enjoyed being in the energy and space where it was peaceful and calm and relaxing. And that wasn't just like in the place that I was staying. I was ended up staying in the church with a friend of mine who has turned her home space into she's living in the church, but she's like made it work for her home. So seeing her creativity is just incredible. and it was a different experience. It's an older church, and so she, allowed me to, experience that space and time with her. And Carly and I just really had a ball. We grew deeper as mother and daughter. We just enjoyed walking. We enjoyed doing everything and nothing, and like we didn't do anything at all sometimes, but it was everything because we were with each other, and just relax, not being on our devices all the time, and just having time to breathe and decompress. And I think we all need that, right? We all need to take a moment to just tap into a space of clarity, where we have time to hear our thoughts and sit with ourselves and sit with our feelings. And I literally went there just to celebrate Carly and just to, for downtime for us, vacation. And so I was telling Byron about how incredible it was and all the things that I saw. And I was telling him how emotional it made me feel, just being in an energy, in a space where people really gave a fuck about each other. They really truly did care. And everybody was so kind and friendly, and you could feel the calmness and the energy there in a different way. And at first when I got there, it was like, it took a little adjusting, because we're used to, at least I can get used to sometimes, myself included, with everybody, just being in the hustle and bustle of life and everyday life, and just not being cognizant when we're like going through our activities, like if we're out running errands and we're in a rush, or stuff like that. Just how I even saw how pedestrian friendly everybody was. Usually here, I was telling Byron that I realized that when I was walking, Carly and I would walk to breakfast or wherever we walked, we would go shopping, going to the beach, wherever we walked. As soon as the crosswalk turned green or yellow, white, whatever, for us to cross, even if we were on the opposite side of the street, the cars that were turning onto the right, this side is considered the right, the cars would stop. Even before, as soon as it turned, even though they could have turned because their light was green, they would tell us to come every single time. And one instance we were rushing, I was like, come on, car. And there's a little old lady in the car, and she's like, don't rush. She's like, enjoy that breeze. It's okay. She's like, I'll make it. She's more concerned about us enjoying our time of walking, even crossing the street, and enjoying the breeze, because it gets hot in Florida. But the breeze was breezing. It was so good. And, and she was just like, enjoy that, So even like little things like that was really beautiful to experience. I feel calmer. I was by the water, and water just does everything for my soul. And Carly too, I saw her like being by the water. I just experienced her just being so carefree, and usually she has a fear, like with beaches, she usually doesn't want to get in, or she'll be a little timid sometimes, but she was able to, she came out, and we walked so far out. You could walk so far out. So we were way, 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 way out. And just being kids, like, I felt like a little kid just out there playing in the sand, playing in the water, just soaking up the sun. I got sun-kissed. See, I am tan. Can y'all tell? Like, I don't know if y'all can tell. But I was in the sun all day, every day. Even if it was just being in the backyard, I was in the sun. What else? What else? It was just really good. I had a great time. One of the things that the trip taught me was really how connected I am to like my culture and my family, and like my ancestors that have transitioned, and how no matter where I am, I always experience their presence in a way that is significant to them or significant to me, that I would know that they're with me. And so I felt their presence with me so much. And I really was embracing and doing all the things that, some of our people weren't able to do because of maybe they didn't have the means or access or what have you. But just being able to travel, explore foods, and just be at peace and not have to be worried about anything. It was very, very interesting to be in that environment consistently for a period of time. We were away for 10 days, and every moment was great. I can't say that they're the worst part of my trip probably would have been the wait, the back home, right? The flights, the delays. That probably was the worst part of my trip, to be honest. But what's funny is that I always tell Carly that our words are powerful, right? So the whole time we kept teasing her. We're like, Carly, you want to stay in Florida? Carly, we're going to move to Florida. Like teasing her because she does not want to move. She's about to start high school. She's not trying to hear that, right? So I called my mom and I was telling her how it's so beautiful, peaceful, whatever, like where it was. And, you know, her and I were talking and she's like, oh, so we were on video and I'm showing her everything. And she's like, oh my gosh, I want to move to Florida. And then, you know, and Carly's like, no. She's like, no. And my mom was like, why not? She's like, because then I can't see you all the time. You know, she's like, I want to see you all the time. She's like, move to Florida with me, right? She's like, come. She said, you and mom, you guys just pack up and move down there and we'll all be in Florida. She's like, I don't want to move, so no. You know, she's like, I don't want to move. I don't want you to move. She's like, I need to see you all the time. And so my mom was like, see, the baby doesn't want me to move. So I was like, Mom, she'll be all right. You know. So the whole time she was like, no, I don't want to move. I don't want to come to. She's like, I'm ready. I'm over it. So when we get to the airport, Cece drops us off at the airport. Carly looks at me and she says, Mommy, I don't want to leave Florida. And I said, you don't? Like, a surprise. She's like, no, I don't want to leave Florida. And I said, girl, well, we at the airport now, so it is what it is, you know? Because I was like, if she would have been like, Mommy, can we extend our trip by a day? Like, we didn't have to pay her change fee or anything for flights. We could have easily done that. She was ready to come home. She's like, I'm ready to go. And then we're at the airport, and she's like, I don't want to go home. So I said, girl. So mind you, the skies were clear in Orlando. It wasn't supposed to rain that time we were there. Like, they weren't expecting any rain. We're sitting there, all of a sudden it starts downpouring and thunderstorm and lightning. I mean, it's doing the whole shebang. All the shenanigans are happening with the weather. Like, the wind is winding. It's doing a lot. And so after all that, I started thinking of, like, that particular day, right? The morning, starting with the morning and how it was going. I started thinking about how it was different in that I had posted a video about breaking up the monotony. And so that I woke up and Courtney was like, good morning, how are you? Right? Extra loud and hyper. Which, if you know Cece, that's not her energy in the morning. She be in her zone. She be quiet. She be moving. She be doing what she do. She just be in her zone. She be doing her thing. So she was like, I'm breaking up the monotony, right? So in my head, and I didn't even tell her I said this, in my head I said, Courtney, you gonna fuck this day up, right? Let me tell you why I say that. She's like, I'm doing something different, right? So we had talked about how your words, you know, and how the significance of her with, you know, and the significance of the word morning, how the root of the etymology of the word, it does come from like lost morning, you know, and so she was speaking about the book, The Day of the Dead, and so we were conversing about that, and so she said, I'm breaking up the monotony. So she said it again. She said it 3 times. She's like, good morning, good morning. And I said, please don't let this day be a day where I'm going to be mourning. Like, you know, just, I was like, you said we speak, our words are powerful, right? So I was like, she going to put mourning on this day. It's going to be a day of experiencing some mourning shit, right? And the energy of it, not just saying like death or what, but just the energy of like, oh my gosh, like what the fuck, you know? So I sat down at the airport and I said, you know what? Courtney says she wants to try something different. So she was trying to like break up the monotony, but prove like when she says stuff, like even though she's trying to do something differently, it's still, I felt that when she said that, because I literally, when she said it, I was like, no, don't say that. But she's like, I'm doing something different. I was like, Cece. Right? So Carly starts laughing because then Carly hears her. She says, hi, Carly. Good morning. How are you? Right? All bright-eyed. And I was like, this day is going to be interesting. And sure enough, it was fucking interesting. The whole day was. So, Courtney, I blame you for that. But anyways, my trip was great. I enjoyed every moment. I missed my people here. I missed my baby so much. I did miss him. However, that just means he got to go back and visit, right? Another trip for me, yay! So, we, you know, as we walked everywhere, we were just enjoying, Carly and I. Like I said, the energy and just being carefree. And I felt like a 7-year-old Nikki running around, you know, having fun and being creative and tapping into my creativity and tapping into like messages from my ancestors and things that they want me to do and focus on, and things that I need to prioritize more. And I'm grateful for that, for the experience of having the opportunity to even do that, to sit in a place where I can be still. I can receive messages that are for me, for my family, for the collective. And one thing that Spirit did give me as a download is collective. Like, there is a major shift that is occurring, and we're at the precipice of that shift. And some of us are feeling it at an intense rate, and others of us are feeling something and not quite sure of what that something is. And this gets back to my trip overall. Take the time out to sit with yourself, to understand what it is that is shifting for you within your life, or what needs to shift. Everybody needs time to reflect on their life, their path, their journey. However, we get caught up in the day-to-day grind, and it can be very cumbersome to even find the time and space to do that, right? So prioritizing that, even if you're taking just 5 minutes to just sit and say, what does this feel like, or what's next for me, or what's coming for me, what am I open to, and being open to whatever comes up. That could look like a change in careers, a change in location. It could look like trying something new that you've never done. You may want, like, never done extreme sports, and all of a sudden you want to do something extreme. You want to, I don't know, jump off a bridge. You want to try something that you've never done before. And I feel like we're all tapping into this space where this shift is taking us from where we are into the spaces that we want to be, right? And if you're not paying attention, you're just falling in the patterns of doing what everyone else is doing. I feel like as a collective, you'll be lost in that shuffle, right? You'll just be going through the routine and just get lost and not even knowing what you want, because you haven't even taken the time to sit and digest those thoughts and feelings and emotions that come up for you. And I feel like fear keeps a lot of people stuck. Like, a lot of people are afraid of, we're afraid of what we don't know. And how do we grow? Because there's fear in everything that we do, right? But we can't grow if we're not willing to face our fears, right? So really consider, like, what am I afraid of? What are some fears that I feel are keeping me hindered or stuck in the spaces, either mentally, physically, emotionally, socially? That are keeping you stuck and stagnant in that? And work on removing yourself from that. Work on moving the energy and shifting it, and moving with the shift, and rising into yourself and with the higher vibration, rather than just, going with the flow of this is how it is because this is how it is. So that's all I came on here to say. That was my download. Spirit was like, just share some things about your trip. There's so many more things to it. Like I said, I was telling Byron about it this morning, and I was super emotional, like super, super emotional. And he's like, we don't have to talk about this. I was like, no, it feels good. It's not. They're like happy tears, because it was a really personal and special experience. And then to have it with my daughter, there's one thing I will share that her and I did. We did it the day before we left. Yes, it was. So we stumbled into this little shop, and basically you can select everything okay? Everything okay? Yeah. Oh, sorry. We stumbled into this little shop, and that's hilarious. He said he's looking at Airbnbs there.
You gotta go look at the house.
Oh, you're speaking my language. Travel and homes. You know how to get a girl's juices flowing. I didn't mean to say that out loud, but I did. I don't give a fuck. I said it. So he does that anyway. You don't need to give me things. What was I saying? I got sidetracked. What was I talking about? I got distracted and distracted. This is me. This is all of me. This is silly. This is all of me. I'm just showing more of that. That was one of the things that Spirit wanted me to do, is just show me, like, all aspects. Like, fuck it. Who cares? Like, people gonna like you. They're gonna love you or not. Like, why give a fuck? And I really don't. And they're like, don't even more. Show that you don't even more, like, I try to keep my private life very private, but like just even talking about Byron on here, or Carly on here, just because this is my public platform. But at the same time, I'm not living in fear, because what do I know is that y'all can fuck around and find out if you want to, but that's how I feel. So I'm not gonna not share aspects of my life that is so like joyful to me and brings me so much pleasure and love by, my children and my husband, and just not sharing that with you guys. What was I saying? I really got distracted, babe. What was I talking about? I literally was sharing, that was one of the things that the trip taught me and Spirit taught me, is to, like just share more, just be myself. And I just hope that the collective is tapping into the space of doing just that, but feeling what the shift is for them, what they need, moving into that shift, and being open to change, being open to discovery, being open to the unknown, and tapping in, and you're not letting the fear hinder you. We can't grow if we don't face our fears, and there's a little bit of fear in everything. So, as we experiment and conquer those fears, we're stronger than we realize, right? And you're strong, and I believe in you, and tap into your own strength. And strength doesn't always take like physical strength, it's the mental, emotional strength as well. There's a lot of things that people go through that they're courageous about, and that they face head on, that can be scary, and but they do it anyway. So do it scared, and see what life offers you and brings to you. See the shift that appears in your life, and I know that it will be incredible. Okay, so just trust it, just trust the process and have fun. And that was one thing that New Smyrna taught me, was just to have fun. Fuck it, have fun. When I went out for breakfast one morning, they were like, want a cocktail? I was like, it's 10:30 in the morning, and it was like brunch time, whatever, but it was 10:30 in the morning. I was like, no, one cocktail. But they're like, whatever, like it's a relaxed life. They're like, nobody's judging you if that's what you want to do. Their happy hour literally starts at 10:30 in the morning. I was like, what? But that was the lesson that they taught me. They're like, do what brings you pleasure and joy. Don't, nobody's judging you. And if they are, that's their problem, not yours. But keep being you, keep shining. And collective, I hope that this message resonates, because that's what Spirit wanted me to do, to just share my experience and my takeaways. There are so many more. This is just a tip of the iceberg, but there's more to come, because there are some lessons for the collective in my experience as well that I'll share throughout the week. All right, so take care, everybody, and thank you so much for your time, your energy, and comment below and let me know what parts of the message resonate with you, and what's hidden. And I like to hear your feedback. Like you guys crack me up with some of the comments. Some of you just DM me, and I laugh, because I'm like, you could have said that in public, but I guess you're shy, whatever. But don't be shy. Maybe that's a task and activity for somebody in the collective. If you would normally or typically send me something privately, like, oh my gosh, I really like this takeaway or whatever, share it down below in the open space in comments, because what you say, I guarantee you, it may spark something else in somebody else. I always like to be the catalyst that sparks that activates the power within the other person to do what it is that they need to do. And so you may be that catalyst. So why not? Put your comment below and see how you motivate or inspire somebody else. And if that happens, somebody comments and it motivates and inspires somebody else, share that too. Okay? So take care, everybody. And until the next time, I'll talk to y'all later. Share.